Okay, here we go to the CO2 car, part 2. Okay, step number 1, I'm going to go back to my block. Remember, we got the front view of the block going here, and we did the 2 3/4, that's the overall height of the block, but we have to have the height of the front side of the block so you can lay that out on your block itself. So I'm going to measure that, and I get 3/4 of an inch on the front end of that block. I'm measuring from the 1 inch mark, and I'm counting over 3/4. So all I need to do from this front end is I need to measure up 1, 2, 3/4 of an inch. Show that. So from this point right here, I measured up 3/4 of an inch. Then all I have to do is lay my T-square at an angle. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to draw lines nice and dark because this is the outside of the front view of my car block, the car block that you will make by cutting a 2x4 on the radial arm saw and edge joining it on the edge joiner. Okay, so 2 3/4 and 3/4 of an inch. Those are the dimensions. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come up and I'm going to darken in my top view. Drawing those, darken in the ends. And then the last piece that I'm going to do is I'm going to do the right side view, or in this case, the CO2 cartridge view of my car. Okay, there we have that. Now the next thing that I need to do, I need to measure and find out where my CO2 cartridge hole is going to be. So I'm going to measure up, and according to this block, it is 1 1/4. I'll show you on here. It's 1 1/4 from the bottom edge, that's this edge, and it's 3/4 of an inch, because 3/4, well, actually a little less than 3/4. It's more like about 11/16 from the outside edge, and I'll show you where that is. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to measure up 1 1/4, and then I'm going to measure over 11/16. I'll draw a light line here first, just so we'll know where that is. So it's that one, and then I'm going to go over 11/16. So right there is at the center point of our car, and we can check it, and there we're in 11/16, so that's perfect. This is a 3/4 inch hole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to set my compass at a 3/4 inch diameter, which would actually be 3/8 of an inch. Yep, I'm going to slide it into 3/8 of an inch there. 3/8. Show you a little closer. There's 3/8. And then I'm going to draw my cartridge hole in the correct place. And there's my cartridge hole drawn. Now, next thing that I need to do, I'm going to come back and I'm going to erase this center line because I don't want, this mark that I made, because I don't want that line there. I actually want a center line. And I'll also tell you that the cartridge hole in this block is drilled 2 inches deep. So I can show that 2 inches deep by coming from this back edge and making a mark at 2 inches, and then draw myself a light guideline, and I'll show you why I'm doing that. A light guideline here, and then I can draw what kind of lines do you think I'm going to draw? I am going to draw hidden lines, because I know that there's a hole drilled into that block that's 3/4 of an inch diameter, and it goes into 2 inches deep. And I can go here, and I have the hole there. Then I have to come up into the top view, because if I went to 11/16 here, I know that I can, this is a little tricky, this is a step that you've never learned before, but I can lay out my 45-degree angle in this top little square right here, and I can actually transfer that center point here into the center of that block. It's as easy as this. If I take my angle from the center point and I make a slight mark right there, then I can come to that point, and I know that, and if you remember, this is a center line, and we do want the center line down this block. So I drew a center line down the middle of that, just transferring it from that center to a 45-degree angle projection line. Okay? Now I can go 11/16 in, or actually from the center, it's easier if I just go my 1, 2, 3/8, or better yet, let's just transfer those edges of that hole the same way we did the center of the hole. So I can come here, and up to my projection line, I can go there. And I come here, center line to the end of the hole. Losing my lead. Bear with me. Okay, then I can come up to that projection line and do hidden lines. And over to this projection line and do hidden lines. So now I have the rough out of my block. So the next thing that I need to do, I need to put some dimensions on. I'm going to have dimensions. So I'm going to come out here with an extension line here and an extension line here. And I remember from my first measurement that the end of this block is 2 3/4. These are the absolute necessary dimensions that you have to have on this to get credit for this assignment. Okay, so I know that that's 2 3/4 of an inch. Okay, I know on this end it was 3/4 of an inch, so I can go extension line here, extension line there, and I can put dimension line there and there, arrow leaders, and mark that at 3/4 of an inch, those top 4. Okay, and I also know that my block was 12 inches long, so I can go extension line here. I keep losing my lead. Extension line there, and I can go extension line here. I know that my block, oops, let me straighten this out a little bit for you. I know, okay, hang on, just lost my lead. Okay, I'm going to pause this and then I'll continue on in a second.